Hey, how's it going guys? Captain Kuba here and welcome to another God of War video. Today, we're gonna be talking about Hell. No, not Texas, but the Norse realm of the dead. But you know what's also Hell? Not having any security while surfing the web. And that's where the sponsor of today's video comes in. Surfshark is an affordable and easy to use virtual private network that protects all of your devices by encrypting your internet activity so no one can ever track or steal your data. This means that not even Odin's ravens will be able to collect your data while you search for things like pictures of Sif's beautiful hair. Come on, you know you're searching for pictures of Sif's hair. Just get Surfshark VPN and do it safely. No one has to know. And the perks of getting Surfshark don't end there. With Surfshark, you can access region-locked content such as videos on YouTube, video games, and even streaming services. Allow me to explain. Let's say you live in the US, and you just finished a long day of work and just want to sit back and binge watch The Office on Netflix all night. But oh no, The Office isn't available in the US. What will you ever do? Well, with Surfshark, you can easily change your device location to, let's say, Canada. And now, when you go to Netflix, all 9 seasons of The Office will be available to you. This also applies if you're having server issues while playing online with friends that live overseas. You got a ping problem? Surfshark is right there to help you connect with those friends who may or may not be a little bit too toxic. Just change your device location and enjoy smooth as butter gameplay. And just because Surfshark loves you with all their heart, they have kindly given me a special code that grants you an 83% discount and 3 extra months for free. Not even Hades can stop his arms from getting a hold of this deal. Discount. So what are you waiting for? Go to the description below and download Surfshark VPN today and receive the gift of security for all of your devices at no extra cost. Guys, you're not going to get a quality VPN for such a good price. So with that said, go forth and download Surfshark VPN today. Alright, let's get back to the video. Ever since God of War 2018 was released, Helheim has always been an interesting realm for fans to discuss. Everything from the Bridge Keeper's role, to the visions Kratos and Atreus experience, and of course, the infamous time dilation conversation between Kratos and Mimir. All of these topics of conversations kept the fandom entertained for 4 years. Yet, when it comes to the most discussed topic regarding Helheim, you don't have to look further than the ominous giant bird perched in the distance. But now that God of War Ragnarok has been released, all of the questions we had about this mysterious bird have been answered, right? Well, most of them. We still don't know a lot about this bird's past as well as what the future holds for it. And perhaps we'll never fully know, given that her level of importance in the story is nowhere near as other side characters. So for today's video, I thought I could tackle a question that God of War Ragnarok poses and kinda gives an answer to. And that question is, who will take Rasalberg's throne? Alright, time out. I know there's probably a lot of you confused as to what exactly I'm talking about, so I think it's better to start from the very beginning. Who exactly is Rasalberg? In Norse mythology, not much is known about this character. The only thing we truly know is that she lives at the end of the heavens overlooking Helheim. And thanks to her massive size, whenever she takes flight, the movement of her wings causes the wind all humans experience. Now, in the God of War series, her story was expanded upon by doing what I'm gonna start calling character real estate. You see, Rasalberg was originally going to be a boss battle in God of War 2018. But due to a lack of budget as well as time constraints, Santa Monica was forced to give us another troll fight instead. But because the team had already worked incredibly hard to create this character, they didn't want her to go to waste. So instead, Santa Monica kept her in the distance, quietly watching Kratos and Atreus' actions. And in all honesty, this worked out. I wouldn't say it worked out for the best, because I'm sure a boss fight with a giant eagle would have been amazing. But by keeping the eagle watching you in the distance, it gave the realm of Helheim an eerie feeling, as the player was constantly being watched by a character whose motivations were unclear. But this left Santa Monica with a problem, because while developing God of War Ragnarok, they couldn't just make Rasalberg a boss fight. Because then they would have to explain why she didn't attack Kratos when he killed the pretty important employee she had. Instead, Santa Monica had to make Rasalberg an ally to Kratos and Atreus, and they did this by combining her with another Norse mythology character, Hel. In Norse mythology, Hel is one of Loki's children. On one side, she has the appearance of a beautiful woman, while on the other side, she looks like a zombie, or dead, to symbolize the place she rules over, Helheim. Now I suspect a lot of characters as well as locations had to be rearranged when Santa Monica decided to end the Norse saga with 2 games. This means they had to take advantage of their character real estate, as they didn't have a lot of time in the story to expand upon new characters such as Hel. So instead, Santa Monica did something really smart. They took the role of Hel from Norse mythology and gave it to another character who could easily be the ruler of Helheim. And that's when Rasalberg became Hel. But how exactly did Rasalberg become the ruler of Helheim in the lore? Was she always the ruler? Did she have to kill the previous god like Kratos did in order to take the throne? Well, this question is actually not a mystery. Right before running into Rasalberg in God of War Ragnarok, the player is able to read the contents of a lore marker that briefly explains how this process works. The lore marker reads, "Mighty Rasalberg, Swallower of the Dead and Author of the Winds, is not the first to claim the title of Hel, nor will she be the last. Since the time of the earliest frost, 9 rulers have fulfilled the role, with her tenure having lasted the longest. So we still don't know when Rasalberg accepted the role to become the ruler of Helheim, and we also don't know under what circumstances she did so. But what we do know is that she wasn't the first one. Prior to her becoming Hel, there were 8 other rulers who took the mantle. And here I want to stop for a second and express how much I like this idea. Because when I was talking to David Jaffe about his work in God of War 1, he shared a similar idea that never made it into the game.
It's almost like Doctor Who. There's always going to be someone else that rises up to kill the God of War and take over. And these souls kind of end up in these jars in the trophy room. Yeah, if we made God of War 2 or God of War 3 and we had the trophy room, maybe you would have Ares and then like 4 more. And you're like, what are those other 4? And eventually we start to go, oh, well, see, the God of War's been around, for a much longer time than you think,
Right.
and so, these were all little seeds that were not.
That sounds really cool. After this interview, I kept thinking about this idea and how cool it would have been to see it in the game. But now with God of War Ragnarok, we have a very similar version that's canon. And I can't wait for future games in this series to explore the question of who these 8 rulers were. But this brings us to the question I started the video with. After Rasalberg stops being the ruler of Helheim, who will take her throne? I've seen some ideas about this question, and I gotta say, they are truly fascinating. The most interesting out of all of them is the one that says that Calliope will somehow take the throne of Hel, given that she also lived with the souls of the dead in the fields of Elysium. And this somehow gives her good work experience. And look, as much as I enjoy these entertaining theories, I have to say, in this case, they aren't really needed, as God of War Ragnarok already gives us a hint as to who will take Rasalberg's throne. So if you thought the future ruler of Helheim is Tyr, I'm happy to say that you were absolutely wrong, because it's actually Hildisvíni. That's right, the boar who Atreus shot in God of War 2018 has been hinted as the 10th ruler of Helheim. This job promotion happened when both Hildisvíni and Mimir traveled to Helheim trying to recruit the army of the dead. Soon after the main story ends, Mimir vaguely tells us what happened in Helheim. Apparently Rasalberg wanted to retire, and seeing that both Mimir and Hildisvíni needed her army in order to succeed against Odin, she decided to use it as leverage. So Hildisvíni, being the noble counselor to the Vanir gods, decided to step in and take the mantle of Hel. Now, I will say that none of this is explicitly told in the game, but by using context clues from Mimir's conversation with Freya, you will easily arrive to the same conclusion.
Mimir, there's something I wanted to ask you about. Hildisvíni told me about your visit to secure Hel's army, but was reluctant to elaborate when it came to negotiating with Rasalberg.
Ah, yes. Well, I can see why he'd hold off on such a subject until he saw if we survived the battle.
Mimir, what exactly did you promise the large bird?
Oh, nothing too horrifying. It's just that she'd like to retire.
Retire? Hel's eagle wants to retire?
Indeed. And don't ask me what she expects to do with her free time. I assure you there is no reassuring answer.
Can she even do that? Not be Hel?
Apparently so. She just requires relief. Someone else to step in and become Hel, as it were.
Not exactly an office many would wish to occupy.
Aye. Terrible weather, infinite hours, and the possibility of unleashing terrible mischief on the realms if they're careless. Or worse, if they aren't completely trustworthy.
But if she were to leave without a replacement?
Complete chaos, yes.
Now, there is a discussion to be had here, because becoming the ruler of Helheim is no small matter. Hildisvini would essentially become one of the most powerful beings in the God of War universe, a counterpart to Hades in the Greek realm if you wish. And like Mimir says, giving the throne to someone who's not trustworthy could result in chaos. And I'm not implying that Hildisvini isn't trustworthy, but I do question if he's powerful enough to wield such immense responsibility. At the very least, we know he can shapeshift into a boar. However, this isn't much power when you compare him to other characters. Even Atreus can shapeshift into a wide variety of animals, while Hildisvini can only turn into a boar. And even more troubling is the fact that Hildisvini was stuck in his boar form for a very long time, showing us that he doesn't have much control over his own powers.
Since he came here, he's been stuck.
Stuck as a boar?
Stuck in his mind. His own true nature grows faint in his memory, like a dream, while the illusion feels more real every passing day.
This is why I'm somewhat skeptical of Hildisvini becoming the 10th ruler of the dead. If he snapped once, could he maybe snap again? And if he does, what exactly will he unleash on the Norse realm? But look, you don't even have to worry about this. For one thing, it's not real. And also because the conversation between Mimir and Freya could be interpreted in another way. Mimir could have been talking about himself. Remember, Hildisvini thought his presence in Helheim would be needed given that he has been dead before, and this could be good for negotiating with the ruler of the dead. Maybe Rasalberg thought Mimir could replace her and become the 10th ruler of Helheim. After all, he is the wisest man alive, making him the perfect ruler to wield such immense responsibility. Now, even though Mimir could have been talking about himself, I still don't think we will see him ruling over Helheim in the next game. The reason I believe this is the same reason why I didn't believe Mimir was getting a new body as many fans thought back in 2018. I just don't think Santa Monica would ever get rid of Mimir as a traveling companion. His presence and commentary are just too entertaining to take away or even replace. He has become part of the God of War DNA, and for those reasons, I still think Hildisvini will be the 10th ruler of Helheim. But who cares about what I think? What do you guys think? Will the next ruler of Helheim be Hildisvini or Mimir? Whatever your thoughts and theories are, make sure to leave them in the comments section below. Now, as always, I want to give a big thanks to all of my members for supporting the channel monthly. People like Dan Mendoza, Shiv Kaushal, Kuro Nico, Dr. Lipton, Thunderbird, and Kratos Fart, to name a few, are the only reason I get out of bed to make these videos. I guess providing for my wife too. But just the fact that these fans go the extra mile to support the channel by donating some of their cash means a lot to me, and I can't thank you guys enough. I would also like to thank everyone who likes and shares my videos. I know it doesn't seem like much, but trust me, it really does help put me in the algorithm. So with that said, thanks for watching, and remember, go forth in the name of All Father Kratos.